Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Nation, brought to you by Apocaflix Movies. I am Brian, and I will be your host through this fun adventure. Today, I have Gio Ramos over there in that corner, and Jacob Bartley over in the left. How are you doing? I shouldn't say the left, because in this, you're in the middle, but my left. You in the corner on the right. How are we doing?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah, just being a homebody.
I know, right? Being the biggest introverts we could possibly ever be.
Two things. I don't have a catchy phrase to open Nerd Nation, just like I do on the Star Wars shows.
Yeah, hello there.
But I'm not supposed to be a regular on Nerd Nation. But
no, you are not. This is the first time.
No, second time. I've been on.
No. I was gonna say this is the first time in like 3 or 4 weeks that it hasn't just been me, Keith, and Gio.
Yeah, but it's the second time I've been on it since we did the regular panels. So I'm glad to be here. Also, the Nerd Nation music is my favorite music on our whole channel.
Yeah,
it's my favorite one.
I like it too.
Yeah.
It's very superhero-esque.
Yeah.
I picked it.
It's very
Thank
fitting.
you.
It's great.
Because Jake wanted a different one. I was no.
This music is amazing. I didn't hear the one Jake wanted, but I thought you were gonna say you made it. I was like, damn.
No, God, no. I can't do that type of stuff. But yeah, so. You know, we're here to talk a little bit about some video games and video game movies, particularly. Video game movies, not the best track record when it comes to the game being translated onto the big screen.
Yeah, not very much.
No. I mean, every once in a while we get like that. That wasn't that bad. I didn't see Sonic. I actually have not heard very many bad things.
It has a fresh rating.
About the movie.
Yeah. Isn't it available on streaming? Is it yet?
It's either coming or I
haven't seen it yet.
I think it just came out today that we're filming it is Tuesday, so I think it just came out today.
Oh, if it is, that's awesome.
Yeah,
because I need to watch it.
Yeah, I do too.
I'll rent that or
not
buy it,
one
whatever.
that I caught. Listen, Jake said he would like to see a sequel. If that's coming from him like that.
Surprised. So did Keith.
Yeah,
Keith liked it a lot too.
Exactly.
That's
so
crazy.
to hear those two movie snobs say that they would want a sequel from a video game movie, pretty decent critique right there.
Yeah, so that's one I haven't seen, but there's maybe 3 in the history of them that I like to love.
Oh, I can guess one probably. Mortal Kombat.
Obviously.
Mortal Kombat
Yeah,
is an all-time favorite movie. It's not even a guilty pleasure. I enjoy it. I think it's a good movie.
I'm trying to think what other good ones there are. Not Assassin's Creed.
Well, for me, one that I enjoyed and I would have liked to see a sequel was Warcraft.
Yes.
Duncan Jones.
I never
Warcraft.
saw that. Was it?
That's the one that I
Yes.
I really liked Warcraft. It wasn't perfect.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Maybe hovering around the 6.5, 7 out of 10 range if you were to rate it.
Mm-hmm.
But so much promise there. I did enjoy it.
That was one that I was just like, no, I'm not going to see that. But I've heard people like say it's like, if you go into it like knowing...
Don't have too high
exactly,
expectations.
then you probably will coming out saying, well, that wasn't horrible.
You should check it out. You have time to watch it.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. What other we got? I guess you could say...
Well, for me, I would say Tomb Raider. The most recent Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander. Really good movie. It might be the best one if I'm just saying unbiased opinion because I love Mortal Kombat so much. It might be the best one ever made, which is not... It's not even a great movie. It's just pretty good, I would say. But those 3 are the ones that I really like.
Yeah.
Then you have your cheesy fun ones like Street Fighter with Van Damme.
But I acknowledge
cheesy,
it's terrible. Yeah.
Fun, just
true.
And we all know about Super Mario Brothers and just.
Oh God, that one.
The funny thing
terrible.
is Pokemon Detective Pikachu a video game?
It is. It technically is because it is. Detective Pikachu was a video game.
So I would throw that in there as the good, decent ones.
Yeah. I would agree.
So maybe there's a handful at most.
Yeah, there's
at most.
Yeah, you can like swipe and grab a couple good ones, but for the most part, they're not the best. But
a lot of failures.
Yeah, a lot of failures.
Max Payne.
Yeah, didn't they do like a? Oh no! That was a rumor that they might do like the Metal Gear one because Oscar Isaac wanted to play it. That's a whole different tangent. But yeah. So what we decided that we were going to do is the 3 of us were going to pick a video game that we wanted to see brought to life on the big screen. And in that capacity, we picked the game, the director, and any actors you wanted to attach to it. Yeah. Am I missing anything else?
No, I think that's it. We're choosing, the video game, obviously. Mm-hmm. Director is very important when it comes to this, in my opinion. And then maybe the top 2 or 3 stars of the movie. That's kind of what I went for. Yeah. And I developed a small plot for my film.
Jesus, this guy. He was a last-minute addition to the show,
thing, though. Once you realize what video game I have, you'll understand why I had to come up with the plot.
Okay, that's the thing. None of us know what each other's movie...
I have no idea.
So
Brian said no one would ever choose his.
Yeah,
so.
We're hoping...
That would be funny if one of us did.
Hoping that we don't have each other's. If we do, oh well, hopefully we have different actors and director. But
that'll be the thing. We probably envisioned a different movie if we have the same one. But I don't think we will.
I don't think any of us are going to cross.
Maybe Gio and I.
Who
knows?
We'll see.
Maybe Gio and I.
But... Shall I go first? You want me to go first? Or you got
Go ahead.
Okay, so if you have watched me ever talk about video game movie or video games that I love, you should know already which one I'm going to pick.
I don't know, but I will say before we get started, Brian is definitely the biggest gamer out of us 3, I would say. Yeah. You're more of a gamer than me, for sure, but I wouldn't even call you a gamer.
No.
No disrespect, but you're just not. But Brian is definitely the biggest gamer of our whole group, I would say.
I don't call myself a gamer because I'm not sitting there playing, like, Fortnite or Call of Duty.
You know how
like
you guys,
crazy?
by default, call me the horror guy just because I watch the most horror movies?
I'll take
by default, you're the gamer guy.
I definitely have probably played the most video games. I've probably definitely owned over, like, 75 video games.
And you're the only one who has all 3 consoles.
I have all 3 consoles and stuff. But like I said, if you know me and have listened to me ever talk about a video game that I would kill to see on the movie screen, you already know this answer. I literally said this last week. Do either of you remember?
I can't remember.
No? Okay.
Was it on now?
It might have been.
Wasn't here. So.
No, I think it was actually Nerd Nation.
Nerd Nation?
Guitar Hero.
No.
Oh.
So, for me, that movie would be BioShock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard you talk about this game.
Same time.
I don't remember you mentioning it last week, but I do remember you talking about that game multiple times.
Yeah. It is probably my favorite game ever. Not including Pokemon.
Can you tell us a little bit more about it for those of us unfamiliar?
So, it's hard to explain. So it takes place in the 60s, I believe, but it's one of those it's one of those stories where it's like the 60s are way more advanced than what it was in real life. Mm-hmm. And this man essentially does not like how society above ground is working. So he builds this ginormous, technically advanced city underwater.
Oh, wow.
But mind you, it's like the 60s, so everything's still in that, like, 60s setting.
And technology, too? Or he must advance some technology.
Advanced.
Yeah.
It's advanced technology, but, like, still in the 60s.
This already sounds really cool. I had no idea what it was about.
And it just becomes more, like, the city is kind of more for, like, high life and elite people, but then of course it kind of like ends up like backfiring and like people become poor and desperate and like start becoming evil and stuff and whatnot. And there's a whole like scientist that does all this other type stuff, and so then this character Jack is who you're playing, finds his way underneath and basically is going through this story, kind of finding out what happened. And if you've ever seen the cover of the game, like one of the big villains is called Big Daddy, and it's a giant like submarine masked guy with a drill on his hand.
Okay.
And then there's the little sisters. They're like little demon children essentially. It's very hard to explain, but it is one of the best games I've ever played in my whole entire life. There's 3 of them. The first 2 are underwater, and the third one is in the sky. So like a city in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a wild game, and they have one of the scientists basically, or this main scientist, made this serum that basically, like, if you inject it, you could give yourself power to throw flames, powers to throw lightning. Yes. God, it's been so long since I played this game.
I've seen part of the gameplay. It's like definitely a horror element.
It's scary.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed.
Oh wow!
It's supposed to be.
I wouldn't have predicted that based on your
underwater,
description.
deserted
Yes.
city, and you just travel through it, much like a Silent Hill, right?
Yes, I've never played Silent Hill, so I don't know. I would imagine so, but it's one of the most brilliant games I've ever played. Now, it's funny because in my mind personally, I would think this would work better as a TV show, but my own selfishness, I'll take it as because there was a while that this was going to be made to a movie, and then people were like, this is too much. But anyways, get back on topic. So my director that I chose, I went back between 2, and I ended up picking the one that probably is less qualified for it. And my director is John Krasinski, because of how well
With the horror element, that works. Yeah.
Because if you've played this game, there is very much a sense of like you're holding your breath because like things will come around the corner. Like these poor, they call them splicers. They will come out of nowhere and like attack you and stuff. So I think he could pull off that, like, just because of how A Quiet Place was. I think it would be kind of cool to see him take on this movie and make it his own. Now, I have a feeling this movie, the problem is it would have to be probably a pretty big budgeted movie.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole movie,
it would be so expensive.
220, 250 million.
Yeah, it's got to be something that is made because the city's underwater.
Yeah.
And although it's in the 60s, it's very technologically advanced.
Is it? So they're not breathing underwater, right? There's like tubes.
It's literally like a giant. Imagine a city that just is underwater. They walk through like tunnels to connect you, like the city connects.
But there's like
buildings,
tubes and tunnels, like, and they're breathing. It's air, right?
Yeah, they're just like you and I are, like, right now. We're inside and.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're not like walking around underwater.
No, they're not in like scuba suits or anything.
Okay.
It's very much they're in like I said, the 60s, where it's very suit and tie, very like classic-y era.
So
type.
it's like a real city underwater.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. Oh, I wish I was gonna turn my computer to show you, but
no, I'll have to look into it later. It sounds interesting.
It's one of the. I'm literally now. The more I'm talking about, I'm definitely gonna go back and play this game. But I think John Krasinski could do a really cool take on it. I don't know if he would want to do something as high profiled as he kind of seems like he likes where he's at.
Well, he said he's open to directing an MCU film, so
that's true. If you're open to directing an MCU film, you're pretty much game for probably 90%.
I doubt he would just take this on randomly, but maybe he likes the game, and that's a possibility.
Yeah, I have no idea if someone was. Oh, that's who it was. I was looking to see who was the original director attached to it before they scrapped it, and it was Gore Verbinski.
That's a good choice.
He was originally the person that was going to take on this movie.
I don't know.
Gore from the original trilogy of Pirates of the
Caribbean. It needs to be someone, in my opinion, that can handle a darker tone.
So the last movie I saw of his, I forget what it was called, but it was the Dane DeHaan movie, horror film, The Cure for Wellness, and that movie was not good. So, and that has a dark tone to it.
Yeah.
Horror film. Probably similar with the horror elements. So I did not like that movie. So maybe it's a good thing. But he's done great movies, obviously. So
Yeah.
it could go either way.
Another person that...
but your choice was Krasinski, which I think
Yeah.
that would be a great choice.
The other choice, for those of you curious who I was looking at, was Guillermo... I can't say his name because I can't say double
Guillermo
L's.
del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
That'd be a great choice.
I think
That's a great choice.
I was gonna say I really do go back and forth between the two. I think Guillermo could do it very well.
Yes.
He does not have. Does he have anything scary in his arsenal? I haven't seen a lot of his movies, so
I
don't know about. Scary,
I haven't
but,
seen
like,
all his movies, but if
I'm
you
looking
even look
at
at The Shape of Water, The Shape of Water is very. There's scary things about The Shape of Water, which
True.
That's a great film. And then I don't know Pan's Labyrinth. I've never seen it, but it's a horror movie, isn't it?
It's more of a sci-fi. I guess you could say horror.
I mean,
but
he's
not
usually
really.
associated with horror.
He loves doing projects where you have mystical creatures or
Yeah.
these.
I think he'd be.
The more I
sci-fi
look at it, I feel like I should have
He'd be a
picked.
great
But
fit. No, either one's great.
I'm sticking with
yeah.
Krasinski just because there are so many times where, like, in this game, you're just like walking around and something jumps out and scares the living crap out of you, and A Quiet Place was perfect for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he would do a really good job. I think the actors, it's hard to explain the plot and stuff and pick these actors for the movie because there's so many. But I'm just gonna go with the main person, this Jack character, the guy that finds his way underneath and stuff. And for me, that was going to be Ewan McGregor was going to be my choice to play this main character because I didn't ever really picture him being young, like super young.
I don't know what the main character looks like, but he's human, right? He's just regular human.
He's probably like, I would say probably around 30s, maybe. You don't ever really see his face throughout the whole entire
That's what I was
thing.
gonna say. I've seen some of the gameplay.
I'm pretty sure it's you have to like look it up
because it's
his
first
picture.
person point of view, right? So
like literally the whole entire game, like whenever he's doing something, you'll see like his hands come up, so you never see him like it's not like where there's like a cutscene and you see him walking and talking to someone. If someone's talking to you, they're talking to your face, like the whole game's through his eyes.
First person.
Yeah, for like truly a first person game. So I think I went back with a lot of people. My other option was Robert Pattinson. I think he would be actually really good at this. But Ewan McGregor doesn't do anything wrong. He's so good in everything he does. And I kind of imagined also like someone that you wouldn't like laugh like as silliness if you see them like inject themselves with electricity and then shooting laser beams out of their hands. Because if Robert Pattinson did that, I probably would kind of like, it'd be kind of funny because he went from being a vampire to now he's shooting.
So does the main character do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's how he like gets through all this stuff. Is he is throughout the game you're picking.
But I think no matter what, whoever it is, they can make it look really cool and not cheesy, you know.
But I just think Ewan McGregor doesn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. I've loved him in everything I've ever seen him in, and I just watched him the other day, Dr. Sleep, and he was fantastic.
Dr. Sleep. It's
fantastic in it, and that's a scary-ish kind of movie. So I think that it fell into pieces really well, and I wish you guys knew more about it so I could explain it a little better. But
I know a little bit of it. I've seen gameplay. I don't know the lore, the plots, and really, but I get the idea of what it is.
Yeah, it's underwater city that's way more advanced than the 60s of that time, and ish goes wrong because someone tries to do some crazy stuff, and
Right.
yeah, it's a wild game. One of the best written games I think I've ever played. That's the one game whenever anyone asks me like, what's your favorite video game, it always
BioShock. Is the main character in all 3 games?
I believe he's the first 2, not the third one.
Okay, because the third one's in the sky. So
Yeah.
does the third one exist in the same world?
Yes.
So it's a continuity, but now there's a city in the sky?
Yes. So it's literally just like...
And is that one, what decade does that one take place?
I
Is it
want
supposed to be further in the future?
I want to say it's the same time, if not... Let me see.
I think that's cool that they did that. The original setting was in the 60s. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's... Oh, no, it's way older. 1912.
The third one?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
that's what I'm saying where it's...
That's cool.
So
So it's kind of like
excuse me. It starts out in 1912, but ends up to 1984.
Okay.
So, but it goes back and forth. There's different time because story and whatnot. But again, it's this city floating on top of like this giant thing, propelling it in the sky, and it's advanced. Like people literally have this like hook that it's attached. There's like wires, and how they get around is they hook and just
Like ziplining.
yeah. Almost. Yeah. They're amazing games. It blows my mind that no one has done anything with them yet. I almost think it's so daunting because these games are so incredibly like
I think there's an increased
well-made.
chance if the genre keeps on this momentum that they have.
yeah, they haven't made it.
I think it's just too big of a project. Or,
I do
property to adapt.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a very large project, and I would do. That's why I say if I had to choose between a TV and a movie, TV would be better. But I'm never gonna. If they're gonna say BioShock movie, I will be the first person to buy a ticket for it. Like no matter who's in it, whatever.
When did the first game come out?
The first one was.
And was it on Xbox 360 or in PS?
2007.
Yeah.
2007. It was 360.
Okay. Is it just a PlayStation game?
Xbox.
You mean Xbox?
Oh, is it just the
no,
Xbox
it's
game?
cross
Oh,
platforms.
okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's in fact now it's even on. They remade it to be on Switch.
Wow.
So yeah, it's and releasing on Nintendo Switch May 2020. So yeah, they're incredible games. You would like it because of the story and how it's like scary-ish. Yeah, they're incredible games, and I would you probably, if you played it, would go, Brian likes this type because it is very not much my type.
I mean, I don't know your video game taste. Video game taste and movie taste are completely different in my opinion.
Oh, no,
So-
I'm pretty similar to it. I don't like the Resident Evil type stuff. I don't like the super scary, gory type stuff like that because I'm a wimp. But this game is all of that, and I still adore it probably more than any other game next to the Pokemon games. So
That's cool. No,
Yeah.
It sounds like a great property, and I'm just hearing about it. I'm sure they'll adapt it. I mean, they've already talked about it, so I'm sure they'll adapt it.
this was a while ago, though. This was
Yeah.
right when it came out in its popularity. So who knows? Hopefully, this would be an amazing show on a network like HBO. If it found its way
It
to
would
HBO,
need high budget.
oh
and-
my god!
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is my choice. I raved for a good amount of time. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hopefully, I don't take Gio's game.
Mortal Kombat.
No. If they weren't already making one, that would be my choice.
9 months away.
But also, they've made a Mortal Kombat movie. It's 2 of them. And
They made 2? I thought they only made 1.
they made
Oh.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is awful. I love the first Mortal Kombat, but Annihilation is
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not the biggest gamer in the world. I'm not even a gamer. I rarely play video games. I usually play sports games, and that's it. NBA 2K, and I play Star Wars games because I love Star Wars so much. That's it. But growing up, I played a lot more video games. Obviously, we're kids. We have more time. All you want to do when you get home from school is play video games.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I always remembered was because back then it wasn't like it was. You weren't playing online all the time. It was just the game. And this game, I always remember it because me and my brothers or me and my friends or me and my cousins, we would always everyone wanted to be on the sticks playing this game, and you'd have to wait and you'd have to time each other an hour or 30 minutes to play the game.
A game
and
just
that is
popped in my head.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh!
And my specific movie is based on Grand Theft Auto 3. Not that you need a specific Grand Theft Auto to base my movie off of, but I am going towards Grand Theft Auto 3 because if you did I'm actually heading towards a TV series for this, but let's say you did 3 seasons of this mini series for each season. You could do a Grand Theft Auto 3 adaptation.
Oh, I remember this one.
Then a Vice City adaptation, and then a San Andreas adaptation.
If I ever had
which would be really cool.
If I had Grand Theft Auto, I would go on Vice City.
And I love Vice City, but I want to go Grand Theft Auto 3 because it just feels more gritty to me, and this is what I imagined in my head. And you understand why I had to come up with the plot, because there's not really a plot to this game. No. There's the missions. There's kind of plots a little bit, but not really. Yes, so I just imagine, and so I picture it as a 8-episode miniseries on Amazon Video. Okay. Just because I like Amazon Video, and I imagine it being the same violence level as The Boys.
I was gonna say
same violence level of The Boys. As The Boys, and Grand Theft Auto is very violent, right?
Very violent.
So if you look at this game, there's gonna be violence, guns. I want the vehicles, the cars in the show to be very heavy presence because it's called Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. So I want the cars to have a heavy presence. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be a structure and kind of plot to this in a way. Now for me, so this is what it's going to be. So it'll be 8 episodes. And every episode, the main character wakes up and he doesn't remember where he is. And he doesn't really remember much. And then he starts walking around and he just sees criminals, prostitutes, drug dealers, all these things around him. And he's like, what the hell's going on? And he kind of walks around, and then he walks into this bar, and he's like, excuse me, sir, like, do you know what's going on? And then somebody's just offers him a mission. And like, you have to do this. They're just, however it works, they hand him an envelope. They're like, here, take this to this address. Hurry, go. And then some other guys start chasing him, and has no choice but to, and he just starts going on this mission. And then that mission leads to another mission. And he just keeps going on these missions. But in between those missions, he has some of those interactions like in the games where you can just randomly just walk up and punch somebody, things like that. So for the first episode, he's just walking around. He's very confused, and he's just doesn't cause any trouble, just goes through and finishes the mission, like barely escaping them alive. But then at the end of episode 1, he dies. And then in episode 2, he wakes up again. Similar thing, but it's kind of where he kind of remembers stuff, but each episode is memory starting to rebuild.
Isn't this the plot of Bloodshot?
I've never seen Bloodshot.
I don't
know.
I don't know.
But anyways, then in the second episode, he knows who he is, but he's acting very differently. In the second episode, he's more violent. He's more prone to fight back. He just randomly goes and steals a car from somebody, and then in the third episode, suddenly he's more calm again, and back and forth each episode. One episode he's very violent himself, and the other episode he's more calm. So then basically there would be a plot tied into all the missions, and then he gets to the end, and each episode he dies at the end. Okay. And then maybe in the 7th episode he doesn't die, and it just continues on to the 8th one, and then the plot finishes at the end of that 8-episode arc. But then there would be a twist at the end, And it would be...
Is it funny you said that and I was like, wait, no, don't give away the twist. I was like, wait a minute.
But here's the thing. I don't want to give it away because it's such a good idea, but I have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a real thing. But have you guys both seen the Lego movie? The original one?
Yes.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, so you know how in the Lego movie they revealed that it's a kid playing with the Legos the whole time?
Uh-huh.
But everything... Legos are real. They're really experiencing this,
Yeah.
but there's a kid playing with the Legos the whole time. Mm-hmm. Near the end of the season, around episode 6 or 7, it's revealed that this whole time there was 2 kids playing this game, but the characters in the video game are actually experiencing it as like the Legos do. And there's these 2 friends who are playing this game together, and they have to take turns playing it. Once one dies, the other friend gets to play. You find out that one kid, the kid who was playing episode 1, has like both his parents are still together. He has a very happy life. The other kid has is a tough childhood. So the kid who's the more calm version of the character is like he's a healthy, young, mentally healthy kid, and the kid who's killing people and more violent is the more unstable kid. And it kind of shows how the kids are being reflected through their gameplay. But on the other hand, there's still a story and plot going on in the game, and that's the real movie. And then and it all ties on in at the end, both sides, kind of like how the Lego movie does. So that's the idea that I had.
Wow.
I did put I put a lot of thought into it very quickly.
Yeah, you definitely didn't even have more than 24 hours to think of all
2
this.
hours.
And the good thing is, I always wanted to see... I don't know why, because it would basically just be a title and a concept, but I've always wanted to see a Grand Theft Auto movie. It would be kind of a gangster mob story type thing, but I think they could do something really cool with it.
That'd be pretty cool. Do you have a director for...
Actor?
Yes, I have a director, and I have 3 actors I'd like to see in it.
Okay.
So my director would be Todd Phillips. Well, I guess it's a TV series, but still, I would like Todd Phillips. If you look at, I mean, of course, you have his Hangover series, but if you look at Joker, if you look at War Dogs, his Joker and War Dogs style would be perfect for this series or movie, whatever the case would be. He's perfect for the crime, the drama, the violence, all that kind of stuff, with being able to give it a little depth with the characters as well. And then the lead of the movie, I would want to be Doc Ray Montgomery. He was the Red Ranger Jason in the recent Power Rangers movie.
Stranger Things.
He's from Stranger. He plays Billy in Stranger Things. I think he would do a great job. However, the character is dressed very casually, just like a black tee and jeans or something in Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah. So just very casual, and I think he's just a great actor. So I would love to see him in the role. And I wanted somebody who was like, I don't know how to explain it.
You recognize him, but he's not super famous.
That, and also who kind of you would believe could be in a fight. Somebody who's violent, could be violent, but also caring as well. Him. Exactly. That's what I was going for.
Likability.
And then I also wanted to throw Jonah Hill in there somewhere, just because Todd Phillips has worked with Jonah Hill.
Be one of the mafia guys.
Exactly. I was going to have Jonah Hill be one of the mafia guys in the movie. And hey, he's an Academy Award nominated actor, so he can pull it off. And then also, so in the game, you see like a lot of women walking around and stuff, and you interact with the women,
the prostitutes.
And so the character, the main female character in the story, where he'd meet every episode, but he'd meet her new each time, right? But so she doesn't understand why she's living like this. She's like, I don't even know. Like, I'm not making these choices. I don't know how it's happening. And I would want not Tessa Thompson, but I was gonna say Tessa Thompson, but Zoe Kravitz. I would want Zoe Kravitz to play that character. So it would star Doc Ray Montgomery, Zoe Kravitz, and Jonah Hill.
Wow.
Grand Theft Auto, the series, directed by Todd Phillips. Yeah.
Wow. That's not bad, man.
Yeah. That's not bad at all.
That's bold.
I would pay to see that.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's hard to make a movie from Grand Theft Auto, so you kind of got to just make something up. It's kind of a blank slate in a way.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that...
It can literally be about anything.
Yeah, it can.
Anything.
You can literally say, like, almost like a Fast and the Furious is kind of like the same type of
Well,
thing.
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Fast and the Furious when I was thinking this, but it would be rated R though. Maybe like a rated
You
R.
can't make it a PG-13.
Yeah, rated R.
Grand
Fast and the
Theft Auto.
Furious for sure.
Who would you want to be the kids playing? One of the kids playing Jacob Tremblay.
Sure. The thing is, they would be young. You know,
I know,
they would be
yeah.
11 or
Play
12. Yeah.
the good kid. And
Yeah.
Jacob, they cannot be 11 and 12. It is a mature game.
I mean, let's be honest. I think that'd be
I
a
was
nice
playing
play.
that game at that age.
I was definitely.
That'd be a nice play.
That's why, because those kids going through that at that age, what I was talking about is more, if it's like a 17-year-olds are doing a lot different things out in the world. So I think the kids would be around 11, 12, but maybe they could be 15, 16.
Yeah.
Would work.
Interesting. I like the plot.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
the plot. That is definitely something that I would love. That twist would be dope.
Wouldn't it? And you don't have to reveal the twist in the marketing, obviously. In the marketing,
no,
you just
don't do that.
show the character
No.
waking up each time. And you could show the character die in the trailer, and then he wakes up again. He's like, what's going on?
Absolutely.
And then the second time he wakes up, all of a sudden he's fighting back and being very violent. And he's like, why did I do that? And it would just be a cool thing, yeah.
I would be so down.
Yeah.
Watch it in a year and a half, 2 years
Don't
from now.
steal
you're
my
gonna-
idea.
You're going to see this exact idea somewhere.
Well, you heard it here first. It's time-stamped.
There you go. Copyright, trademark. Jacob Bartley.
Story by. Just give me story by. That's all.
That is
That's
there
it.
you go. There
That's
you
all I
go.
want.
All right, Gio, you've got BioShock. You've got Grand Theft Auto.
Oh man,
What is closing it out?
my pick feels lame.
No.
Okay, so let me help set this up. How this movie is gonna happen,
Okay.
right? Okay, so next year,
Okay.
Mortal Kombat comes out in January, R-rated. Let's say this movie does very well. It's everything a Mortal Kombat fan ever wanted. Video game fans love it. People who love action movies like John Wick, they love this movie. They're like, wow, this looks really great. All of a sudden, the genre now has Warcraft, at least internationally, it killed. It made a ton of money. You got Tomb Raider, which was a success, modest success. You have Sonic the Hedgehog, that did surprisingly well. And now you have Mortal Kombat. So all of a sudden, the video game genre is like this, and studios are now looking into this untapped industry for film adaptations.
Okay.
So, as you guys may know, in the 90s, there was a big rivalry between Sega and Nintendo.
Yes.
With, for the Super Nintendo, there was a Sega Genesis. For the N64, there was the Sega Dreamcast, and so on. The Game Gear, Game Boy, right? And then it kind of fell off in the late 90s, early 2000s. Nintendo just took off, all Sega went.
What happened to Sega?
Nintendo
Right.
64.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, yeah. And PlayStation to an extent. So anyways, present day, Sega just made a video game off their most popular character. It worked. It made money. It received well from critics. You don't think Nintendo, who just opened a film division
I know exactly where you're
a few
going.
years ago, they're like, how is this company that we just straight destroyed in the video game industry, all of a sudden they made a great game and we're still living off of Super Mario Brothers, which has not gone away. It's still very much in our minds, the pop culture. So Nintendo's like, okay, we got to do something too. We could do the obvious choice is the Mario Brothers, but let's take our time with that. Let's not rush it. Their next popular character is Link, and Swords and Sandals is all good, but something a little more for their first movie, a little more, epic. Who's their third most popular character? Arguably for me, it's Samus.
Oh, a little Metroid Prime.
Yes, Metroid Prime, exactly.
Ah.
That's the film that I think Nintendo would be wise to do, either as a film or as a streaming service. Multiple seasons.
Yeah.
high budget, obviously. If you guys know the character of Metroid, very sci-fi, outer space.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with it?
No.
No.
Do you know Super Smash?
Yeah.
You know Samus?
Oh, that's
who
the
it
character.
is.
Okay.
A galactic bounty hunter.
Isn't Link from Zelda?
Yes.
Yes.
So he's a secondary character in Zelda.
Zelda is the princess. Link is
the character who rescues.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's the main character of Zelda, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Metroid is my choice. Okay, now this is a very sci-fi movie. It's like she's a galactic bounty hunter who takes on space pirates and parasites and stuff like that. Think Alien, but with more creatures. You know, think like obviously space pirates, right?
Yeah.
Like Star Wars-esque. So, if you don't know Samus, she is obviously a bounty hunter, but she has a exoskeleton suit that is capable. Think like Cyborg, Iron Man, that can do all these weaponry and gadgets and stuff like that. So it's a very much a high budget adaptation. So if you're gonna do this project, you got to pick somebody who is coming off, you know, who knows sci-fi, who's a proven talent, and who can do visually stunning films. So, back to 2021. Mortal Kombat is a success. Later on in next year, The Matrix 4 comes out. The Matrix 4 has been long been in development hell because the Wachowskis, they do not want to touch this franchise or go back to it unless there was a script, unless there was something that was so good that warranted them revisiting that world. Because the way what was it, Matrix Revolutions ended, pretty clear,
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw it? Okay.
I haven't seen the last two.
Okay.
They're on
So
my list.
you need to watch it before the movie comes out.
Okay.
All right. So
before your movie.
let's say the Wachowskis did right. They waited long enough. They loved the script. Keanu Reeves loved the script, obviously, because he came back, and this movie was surprisingly good. All of a sudden, the Wachowskis are having a sort of Shyamalan-esque resurgence, you know? I mean, let's be honest. Their movies, Speed Racer, Cloud Atlas, Jupiter Ascending, you know, they're not very well-received films. They're visually stunning.
Yeah.
You know, the action is great, but the problem has always been the story. But this one happens to be a really good Matrix film. So, Nintendo has Lana Wachowski, who's directing Matrix 4, only one Wachowski, on board for Metroid. That would be my choice. Okay, so you got a director.
That's solid.
All right, high budget. You got a director coming off Matrix 4, assuming it all. I hope it works well. I think we all hope it works well and is a success. Now you need a lead actress. She's Samus is a female, which I love. That'd be perfect for today's Hollywood. You need somebody who's proven, who can do action, who's a name, because as much as we love Samus and Metroid, outside of the video game realm, she's not really a well-known character. So you need a name to put on. From the director of Matrix 4, starring Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt would be my main choice.
Ooh.
You think about Emily Blunt and Edge of Tomorrow.
I haven't seen that. Jake and I are literally like, I think we're gonna watch it this week because he told me I'm not allowed to watch it without him because it's one of his favorites.
Emily Blunt kicks ass in Edge of Tomorrow. I mean,
she kicks ass in everything.
That I think. Would you agree that was her coming out
absolutely.
party?
But I don't think you've seen her in an action role.
Like that?
Yeah, she's amazing in it.
She's pretty action in Mary Poppins too. No,
yeah,
I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen that.
So let's say this movie gets made, right? I mean, it'll probably be a few years. Emily Blunt's 37, she'll be 40, which I don't think is a problem because you think about Robert Downey Jr., he started his Iron Man journey when he was 39, 40 years old, roughly. With the visual effects and special effects, you don't really need Emily Blunt that much on screen when she has her helmet on.
I was going to say.
Yeah. So
she's in the suit, especially.
It works in her favor, for sure. Now, other than Samus, there is a side character. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's named Anthony Higgs. He's a fellow soldier / bounty hunter who was a part of Samus's squad before Samus went solo. African American soldier, very badass. And if you're gonna have, because you gotta have more than one character, it can't be a solo. At least in my opinion. Even though Emily Blunt could pull it off, I would have a name that is very quickly becoming well known, and that's John David Washington. Playing a soldier in outer space, sci-fi with his own mechanical suit. That'd be pretty badass.
That would be very badass.
So you have a Samus, a Metroid movie, directed by Lana Wachowski, coming off Matrix 4, starring Emily Blunt from Edge of Tomorrow, co-starring John David Washington from Tenet. And as for the story goes, I mean, she's pretty much hunting down space pirates and these parasite creatures, that exist out in outer space. So you can kind of make something from that. There's 14 video games in total from Metroid, so you have plenty to choose from. You could have a big baddie, but I think this would be a great answer to Sega, who just proved that they can make a very good video game film. Meanwhile, Nintendo is just sitting on their asses right now.
Yeah. When you first started saying, I was like, he's going to go for Super Smash Brothers. But
Nintendo could definitely lead to something like that.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to be hard to
Absolutely.
do. I think that should be an animated film if they do that.
Oh, it should.
Oh, no, not Super Smash Bros. But I think if they do Super Mario, it should be an animated movie.
Oh, yeah. But that is a very, very good choice, because that is something that can easily find its way on TV, movies, short series. It very easily can find its way into some Netflix.
Yeah, like
I could see that again being another HBO kind of like
6 1-hour
dark,
episodes.
Yeah, exactly. A very like witchery type budget where it's like on Netflix, but it has a buttload of money with a main actor like Henry Cavill leading it. That is a game I could very much see people taking to, because heroines are very big right now.
Oh yeah.
An intergalactic female bounty hunter, and Samus is a very popular character.
Oh yeah.
And if they were ever going to lead into a Super Smash Brothers video games, that is probably one of the characters people are going to look for. Whether or not that would translate, I don't know. But yeah, that would be a really good, something that I would definitely buy into.
And let's say Emily Blunt decides to sign on to Fantastic Four, right? Which I think we're all expecting. Honestly expecting at this point. Then I'd throw in like a Vanessa Kirby, coming off of Hobbs and Shaw. I think she'd be very good. And again, you're in an exoskeleton suit.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to be all muscly Ronda Rousey type. You can just...
It's like Mandalorian. It's the guy's under there, but is he? He's under there, but it's probably not the actual actor for the most part.
And if not Lana Wachowski, other directors in mind were Neil Blomkamp or Doug Liman. Have a Doug Liman Emily Blunt reunion from Edge of Tomorrow. That's gotta be pretty
I could
badass.
very much see that being a movie or a show.
Although Doug Liman said he was going to give us Splinter Cell with Tom Hardy a few years ago, but that never happened.
That's a very good one. One I would never have thought of, but would be very excited to see if made, because that is a very good...
I don't know anything about, other than them being in Super Smash Bros. But I don't really know much about the character. I don't know much about the game. Have you played the game before?
I've played it, a couple times. I didn't play all 14 games, but here and there. It's very much like the older games are very much like Super Mario Brothers, whereas it's just straight run and jump and run.
It started
like
off
a space version of that.
Yeah.
So the thing is, for me, I would love to see a sci-fi franchise that does successful. That's not Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, sci-fi movies or space movies, whatever the case is, with aliens and creatures and stuff, it's so expensive to make.
Absolutely.
And the only way they make them is if they have strong brand behind them, which MCU or Star Wars. They're only making those movies. We don't have any ongoing franchises or even just a one-off film that's a big epic space movie that's not some well-known sure franchise.
Yeah.
And I want to see that so bad, whether it's original or based on a relatively unknown property. I would love to see that. So based on that, I think that's a great idea.
It's a very good one. Like I said, one that I would never have thought of, but now thinking of it is like, wow, I could actually definitely see that being done.
And I think that would be better for Nintendo rather than doing Super Mario movie or a Yoshi movie, whatever that. Even though Yoshi's my favorite Nintendo character, that would make people take Nintendo seriously in the content creation realm.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a very good choice. I like that all of us had solid.
Yeah,
ones.
I want to see all three of our movies or shows.
We all had.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we all had very good choices, and I'm curious to see what people say about each one.
Me too.
But yeah, that's it. That's gonna do it for us today on Nerd Nation.
That was fun.
Yeah, we had our our choice of if we could pick any video game to be made into a movie. Or I'm going to say or TV series. Because either one would have worked very well with the TV series.
And we did do some casting, though, by the way.
Yes, we
did
do
casting. A little bit of
casting
table flavor.
We did. So if we could have picked our dream video game to be made into a movie, or not dream, but our choice video game to be made into a movie, what would you pick? I picked BioShock. Jacob picked Grand Theft Auto 3. And Gio picked Metroid. Yeah, great choices. We had some great directors, cast, whole shebang. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with any of our choices? Do you like someone's choice better than the other? What is your movie that you would choose to be made from a video game? Let us know in the comments below, and you will more than likely find us talking about it on Apocaflix now on Friday. So for Apocaflix Movies in Nerd Nation, I am Brian. That is Jacob. That is Gio. And check us out all over. We are on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor. I need a list because there's so many of them.
Anywhere you find your podcasts.
But yeah, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. But until then, we will catch you guys next time, and thanks for watching.